thought I was cute, didn't I? Anyways, today's video comes courtesy of BestHairBuy. They sent over this gorgeous 13x6 lace frontal. This wig is pre-plucked, as you can see in the front. And what's even cooler is that they give you extended parting space. So normally you'll get 13x4, and this one comes with 13x6. Kind of similar to a full lace wig in the sense that you can do anything you want. The possibilities are endless. So as we begin to slay, you guys know the first thing I do is make sure there's an elastic band inside. If you guys are interested, I have an elastic band tutorial in the description bar. Also, you go ahead and you cut off your lace. So with this one thing I really liked was that they give you a nice, huge, good amount of space for sideburns. Now some wigs, you don't really get a whole lot of sideburn space. I know that's definitely an optional thing. For a day-to-day look, I definitely cut the sideburn area off, but for this one, we're going to use it. So today we're going to be working with some Got2b glue products just because I find these to be the best non-glue glue methods to bond my wigs down without actually using glue. So normally I love the black one, but today I'm using the yellow just because it has a little bit of a stronger hold. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know my sideburns, just that area just definitely is a little tougher to stick down. Now a new technique to me, but I'm sure it's old to you guys, is a blow dryer. I never use a blow dryer normally because my kids are usually like asleep when I'm filming and I want to keep it quiet. But tonight I had a little bit of extra time and a little bit extra space to go ahead and use it. I used it on a cool setting and I just went ahead and blew dry the Got2b glue gel and the spray on top of it, kind of combination I had going. And I just basically blow dried that area for about 15 to 20 seconds on a cool setting, not a hot, make sure it's cool. And then I applied my wig and it made a huge difference. Like, I know people have been doing this since the beginning of time, but I just thought, oh, if you let it air dry, it'll do the same thing. The only thing I did notice on the sides when I used the rat tail comb to kind of bond it down, you kind of see how it's getting a little bit sticky. I never really have that problem as bad when I let it air dry, but using the blow dryer, I found that that was something that was a little bit new and interesting. It definitely kind of, wherever I applied that Got2b glue on the sideburn area, has like a white, chalky, I don't know if you want to call it, basically like a white sticky substance, and I don't like that part, but we're going to work on that and get rid of that later. Now, if you know me, you know I love my frontals almost bald. This one is pre-plucked, so if you want to purchase this one, I highly recommend you guys purchase this one and don't touch the front at all, especially if you're bleaching your knots. You don't want to over pluck it and then end up with a bald frontal, because as you guys know, whenever you pluck your frontal, it still will shed, especially if you bleach your knots over time. So if you think you have like the perfect amount of baby hair by plucking it down, sometimes you will find that it'll shed even more, and then within a week or two it's completely bald and you'll have to like cut that part of the lace off and make your wig a little bit shorter. It's a whole little thing, you know. So I decided today that I want it to be a little bit extra. So I am here separating out what I'm going to use as baby hair, and what I kind of do is I just use a little bit of mousse to kind of help to train that hair in that section to go in the direction of baby hair so that it doesn't kind of like fly backwards. Now here I'm cutting it down to kind of baby hair length a little bit, and this is kind of how I can see and judge if I want to like trim out more, which I definitely will in some areas. I'm using the Edge Booster, which has been my favorite edge control for some time now, and I kind of like to sometimes gel, or not gel, but use the edge control on the actual hair and the baby hair. So if you kind of see, I'm kind of slicking down the hair and the baby hair kind of simultaneously all together, and I kind of do separate swoops. I do a swoop and I swoop whatever hair is like hanging out back into the rest of the hair. I kind of like this look. I kind of switch up the technique of how I do my baby hair, but this is kind of a very popular way of doing it, and I think it looks really, really, really good, especially if your baby hair is pretty long. Now the sideburn area is pretty much my weakness. That's the part where it kind of gets tricky for me, and I'm not even gonna lie, I still need practice. So in this case I kind of did one side super full and I did one side kind of over plucked, and you'll see the difference. I gotta kind of find the happy medium in between, but you know, practice makes perfect. When you have these baby hair brushes, don't forget you have that comb on the opposite side. You have a brush on one side and a comb on the opposite side. The comb is great if your baby hair is looking a little bit clumpy. Just comb it and swoop it, you know, so that it doesn't have that chunky, clumpy look and it looks more smooth and sleek. As you guys can see, I did trim down that area that was designated as baby hair. I think I definitely should have just cut some of the baby hair out and not let it be so long, that area, because it kind of was like, bruh, this is still looking wiggy. And it wasn't the wig, it just was my technique of doing it. Again, I should have just cut some of it off, but I was trying to leave all of the length of this area there and kind of make baby hair a little bit different than the way I normally do. So I kind of was getting frustrated because it was like I'm plucking, I'm tweezing. It's nice and full and dense and, you know, it's just not looking like what I wanted it to look like. So next time I would just definitely trim that lace down shorter to come like to the same length as like the height of my ear, if that makes any sense. And then I'll let the baby hair hang from there. But it's not necessary to have it so thick and full. So of course I kept tweezing and tweezing and tweezing, and this is definitely a big issue when it comes to customizing your wigs. And see, this is the point where I balded it, like right here. Boom, that was where I messed up. And if you see, it's like, okay, I did all this tweezing, but it still looks thick and unnatural. Needless to say, I did overpluck this side. To each his own. I think it doesn't look bad. I definitely still wore this wig and I enjoyed it. But I definitely would say for most, I would never recommend you go that thin. Now what you can do here is you can take a few strands of hair from the length of the hair and put them in there. Cut them as short as you cut the rest of that hair. Train it with a little bit of mousse and then swoop it like, you know, regular baby hair. And it'll look good. It's just a little bit too overplucked in that area, but it's an easy fix. This side you can see is full, super full. The other side is a little bit too plucked. So kind of try to find that happy medium. Again, practice takes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Now here we go playing with the parting. Again, this is a 13 by 6 lace frontal. So normally you would have 4 inches. We have 6. Here is another shot of how the parting looks. It's very beautiful. I did not bleach the knot, and to be honest, I did not need to. Bleaching the knots is definitely an extra step that is based on preference. I know tons of creators who don't bleach their knots at all, and even people in real life, and some of us do. You know, I do it here and there, but I feel like a year ago, 2 years ago, to have a flawless lace, I felt like you have to bleach the knots. You can't just bypass that. And now I definitely just feel like it's not as necessary as it used to be. Let me know your opinions. Do you guys bleach the knots on your wigs, or do you leave them and just add powder? Let me know. So here I am just trying to work it to make the perfect parting and make the perfect ponytails. I decided to do 2, you know, little buns, little space buns. And the key is just to keep, like, you know, applying your product. In my case, I just applied water. I didn't need any actual product, but I wanted to make sure it was flat as possible. Sometimes you might find it easier to do this step on like a mannequin head. Also, normally as far as the parting goes, I will just leave it as it is naturally, and then I'll just go ahead and add powder. Nowadays, I'm learning to thin out the parting, which is something that I just recently started doing. I didn't really do it too much in this video. You don't want to tweeze out the parting and end up with a super wide parting, because that's something that is a no-no. But I do definitely feel like, looking back at my frontals and my applications, it could look even more natural by kind of thinning out the parting just a little bit, just so that it looks a little bit more like scalp and not like a wig parting, you know. So now we finally almost have both of the ponytails done. Come on, girl, you almost got it. You almost got it. And I'm using my daughter's ponytail holders. I kind of just pull it to make sure that the lace is not buckling or pulling up if it's too tight. They kind of train the rest of the hair to go in the direction that you want it to go. And boom, I'm absolutely pleased with the look of this hair. As far as the density goes, this is not an extremely thick wig, and I think that it definitely suits the style that I was going for. You don't always need a super thick wig. Sometimes if you just want to just look pretty and natural, you don't need all that extra hair. You know what I mean? Like 9 times out of 10, like most guys, they would rather, if you're going to wear a wig, they would rather see you in a wig like this that has a good amount of parting space. And it kind of, you know, it's not necessarily natural in the sense that it's completely, you know, it's a wig, but at the same time, it's not just like 10 pounds of hair on top of your head. You know what I mean? So here I am adding the powder to the parting. And this here, I will say, is probably my holy grail parting. And it is that Morphe palette. The Morphe Oh Baby palette, or is it Oh Boy? I think it's Oh Boy palette. In a sense that it looks like my exact skin tone. It's not too light, it's not too red. It's a little bit light, but it's not like light. It's like my skin tone a little bit, like half a shade lighter. You know what I mean? But this is the best I've gotten my parting thus far, and I absolutely loved it. So first I was going to just do the ponytails, and I decided to do the buns, and I kind of just twist it really good, and then wrap it around the base until the bun is created and there's no more hair left in my hand. And I did this on both sides for the perfect style for today. And you kind of just wrap around the base, and as you wrap it around the base, the bun forms. But don't really wrap it upwards, just keep it going at the very bottom and the rest will take care of itself. It always looks more like neat when you go ahead and twist the hair. This is pretty much the final product. Oh, I did go ahead and straighten out the ends. It was already straight hair, but you know, kind of just make it look a little bit more sleek. Okay, so let me make sure you guys can see my buns. So here is the final look. Now, I requested a 14-inch glueless lace wig. The texture is straight. I believe this is longer than 14 inches. What do you guys think? I'll leave exactly what they sent in the description bar, and it may be 14, maybe I'm tripping, but I'll let you guys know in the description bar. What's cool about this wig is it is a glueless lace wig. What's also cool is that it's 13 by 6. So normally when you see me review a wig, it'll stop probably about right here in the lace area. This one actually goes 2 inches further back to be a 13 by 6, and this makes it look a ton more natural. Now you guys see I went and plucked for life on the frontal. Everybody has a different preference. On this side, I kind of made it a little bit more thin. On this side, I made it a little bit more full. If you make it too thin, you can just take a few strands of hair from back here and kind of cut it like this short and swoop it around it, and people won't even notice. And that's just something that I've learned over time. But I decided not to do that just to show you guys. Sometimes you might feel like this looks a little bit bald. And so if you do, literally, I don't want to mess up my buns, but literally take like 4 hairs from back here and just swoop them in there, and it'll look like some hair is there. And that is simply an easy fix, and really the only way you can really fix it when you do a lace wig and you may over tweeze. But yeah, don't want to talk you guys to death. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out BestHairBuy. They have some gorgeous lace wigs for the low. This is almost even better than doing a full lace wig because you have the control and you have the versatility of a lace front wig that goes super far back without spending the money on a full lace wig. So if you're interested, check them out. Information on this wig is linked in the description bar. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share with your friends, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.